HarperCollins presents Knaves over Queens, edited by George R.R. Martin, assisted by Melinda M. Snodgrass. Featuring stories written by Paul Cornell, Marco Clues, Mark Lawrence, Kevin Andrew Murphy, Emma Newman, Peter Newman, Padder O'Galeen, Melinda M. Snodgrass, Caroline Spector, Charles Stross. Read by Peter Noble. A Flint Lies in the Mud by Kevin Andrew Murphy. September 15th, 1946. And then, Paddy O'Reilly continued, whiskey tumbler upraised, we thundered down the mountainside, clutching the canopy poles of our elephant's howdah, 100 angry Kali cultists behind us waving their knives and their crimson thuggy sashes. My darling Timothy Patrick Xavier, the beautiful Chandra Ratri intoned in her Bengali lilt, there were no more than 50. She laid a delicate brown hand upon his freckled forearm. And half were from the temple of Ganesh. Her fingers squeezed gently but firmly, flashing a diamond-encrusted wedding ring. And most were my relatives, and not. She shook her head, making the Mang Tikka pendant on her forehead sway, the pigeon's blood star ruby at its heart winking above her bindi. Cultists, she added emphatically, pouting her coral-painted lips up at him, from where she sat nestled in the silk damask love-seat. Forgive my Fenian poetics, my lotus. Paddy gazed down, emerald eyes pleading. I meant worshippers. Paddy's name and colouring might be Irish, but his accent and demeanour were decidedly American. Chandra turned away, her tawny topaz eyes flashing. I will consider it, she pronounced, then took a sip of her cocktail, still unmollified. Brigadier Kenneth Foxworthy sweltered in the armchair nearer the fireplace, puffing his pipe, as he observed the couple with considerable amusement. They had retired to the far end of the Queen's salon for postprandials. Foxworthy wished he could remove his dress jacket, but it would be unbecoming of an officer of His Majesty's army. Yet the O'Reillys' company was worth some discomfort. The Irish-American animal trapper and the Bengali princess, or priestess, or some such, were easily the two most engaging dining companions he'd found, and a distraction Foxworthy desperately needed. We, Bengalis, do not forgive so easily, Chandra chided Paddy, setting her cocktail on the coffee table, nor forget. I am the elephant's daughter. She smiled then, flashing teeth white as ivory. I will require a kiss. Paddy leaned down, paying his fine honourably, while Foxworthy hid his smile with another sip of excellent single malt. Then suddenly the whiskey sloshed out of his glass and into his face, as Paddy stumbled forward, barking his shins on the table. Chandra's highball glass tipped over and shattered, filling the air with the scent of cognac and champagne. Merciful Kali! Chandra exclaimed. What was that? A purserette ran up and threw a bar towel over the mess. Nothing to worry about, she reassured Chandra. Just a patch of rough water. Another king's ruin? That, my lotus, was not rough water, Paddy told his bride as soon as the purserette left. That was trouble. Foxworthy agreed. The Queen Mary had slowed suddenly and precipitously, and if they'd felt the lurch here in first class, the stable's centre section, Foxworthy did not like to think how it had been felt in cabin class at the stern, let alone tourist class in the bow. Foxworthy exchanged a glance with Paddy. The animal trapper nodded curtly, saying, Brigadier, perhaps you might speak with the Commodore while I check on my tigers. Foxworthy removed his pipe. You have tigers on board? In the kennels, Paddy explained. A pair for the Hyde Park Zoo, but young, so I was able to reserve the St. Bernard crates. Hyde Park, New York, not London. Ah, said Foxworthy. Last I saw tigers, I was a boy. Well, living tigers. The bombing of Berlin's Tiergarten had been horrid. But a sound
Sample complete. Ready to continue?